Don't give up. Also, smile.
Move, damn you!
What's your name and your age?
My name is Summer Wesson, and I'm 34 years old.
What is your current height and weight?
I'm 5'7" and 120 pounds.
And what is your physical background?
I did not become physically active until a little bit later in life. I was diagnosed with a disease called juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. I was told by my doctors that I would never be able to lift or run or do anything like that. So I ended up coming out to Los Angeles. A friend of mine invited me out for a 3-mile run. I'd gained like 30 pounds. I was about 30 pounds heavier than I am now. And he invited me for a 3-mile run. I went home, I threw up, and I signed up for the LA Marathon. All of my friends thought I was crazy. I completed it, and now I am a 100-mile racer.
What is your favorite exercise and why?
Well, long distance running is my favorite thing to do. There's something about conquering a distance such as 100 miles that is so beyond what feels like your physical limitations that it does a lot for your spirit, for your soul. Just makes you a stronger person in general, I think.
What is your least favorite exercise, but why do you still do it?
You know, anything that has to do with strength training, I just hate. It's part of a means to an end for me. I know that it makes me a better runner, but I don't like doing it.
What is the physical feat you are most proud of?
The physical feat that I'm probably the most proud of is my first 100-mile finish. It was one of the hardest things that I've ever done in my life. I came in within 12 minutes of the cutoff to make it to the end of the race. My dad was there. I had a whole crew there helping me, and I won the costume contest.
How often do you work out?
Typically, my week is 3 to 4 days running and then 3 to 4 days of other work, such as Olympic weightlifting, pull-ups, push-ups, all that stuff that I hate.
Okay. How do you find time to fit that into your work schedule?
I have a very busy schedule, but I think that you just find time for certain things like that if it's important to you. I will come into work early to be able to make it out in time for my trail racing practice. I'll get up early in the mornings and just fit it in. I'll even do it at lunch sometimes. So whenever I can make it work, because it's an important part of my life.
You hear that, Internet? No excuses. All right. Speaking of the arthritis,
yes.
Have you ever had serious injury, physical setback, recurring injury? How have you gotten over that?
Yeah, I have a couple of things that have been big in my life. The first thing is that I was diagnosed with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, which is an autoimmune disease, when I was young. And fortunately, after I had run through the pain for a long time, I found a coach who was extremely intelligent in certain areas other than just working out. He knew a lot about the effects of nutrition on my body. So I removed gluten from my diet. I went for what's called a paleo diet, so basically anything that would be available to a hunter-gatherer, and my symptoms went away.
Wow.
The other thing is that I fell off of a pull-up bar, maybe why I hate pull-ups so much, a couple years ago, and I injured my back pretty bad. But I've found ways to be able to work around it, and it hasn't held me back from being able to do the things I want to do in life.
What would you consider the most important part of your diet?
Obviously, the choice not to have gluten in my diet because I am allergic to it and because it does cause inflamed joints. But I can't speak for diet enough that athletes don't take that seriously because it's such an important part of all of your performance.
What is the biggest mistake that beginners make when they're just starting out learning something?
To be honest, when somebody starts out in the beginning, I think too much too soon is a big issue. I think that it's very, very important to go back and, if you're a runner, to really focus on the way that you run, your form, your technique, because you have to understand, if you're going to be a 100-mile racer or even a marathon runner, if you're doing the wrong thing over and over and over again, of course you're going to get injured. So I think just the basics, like really spending time learning those basics before you go on to anything big.
So what's the best advice you've ever gotten, or something you just think everyone should know?
Well, the best advice kind of goes back to the nutrition thing for me. I think that, just knowing how to dial in my nutrition makes all the difference in the world. It makes me be able to not have the inflammation in my body that I usually do. It makes me perform better. My 5K dropped by 3 minutes when I changed my diet. So I think overall, I can't preach enough how important good nutrition is.
Why do you love it? Why do you keep going?
I think part of the reason that I love 100-mile racing is just the fact that it feels like it's such a physical feat that you just don't even think that you can do. They always say that you run the first 50 miles with your body and you run the last 50 miles with your heart. And I think that's very true. Every time that I've crossed the finish line of a race like that, it's taught me a lot about myself, my own limitations, and what I can get past. And I feel like if I can get past that in life, I can get past anything.